as the helicopter took off, it would start to tip a little, and as soon as it tipped, it would dash over and dash off to one side, and then swing and dash back again. So it would do like that. And this generally got worse, so that it would collapse. Well, my first thought, well, I'll have a pendulum. Now, a pendulum would sense gravity and would remain vertical. And I can use the pendulum to regulate the rotor. Let's say that's the rotor. Now, if the pendulum holds the rotor horizontal, see, then if the helicopter tips, the pendulum will, the helicopter might tip, but the pendulum would stay vertical, and that would keep the rotor horizontal. Well, in flight, it didn't do that. The pendulum swung with the helicopter. And years later, when Floyd was flying Model 47, I took a long cylinder of steel, about 1 inch in diameter and about 5 inches long, so that, you know, it would stand on its end. And I stood it on the floor of the helicopter, and I said, take it up and let's see you make that thing fall over. And whatever he did, he couldn't make it fall over. It always remained, because even when he was going around a turn, gravity was in the direction that held it stable. So this illustrates why the pendulum wouldn't work. Well, without reasoning from that, I should have been able to reason from that, but more or less accidentally, I found that the bar would do that, because the bar remains horizontal even when the ship, let me go back a minute. The pendulum doesn't know the difference between acceleration and gravity, but the bar does. The bar is like an artificial horizon. It recognizes, its authority, shall I say, is the outer stars. In other words, rotation, if you say that rotation is relative, it really isn't relative, because for something to spin and say that the environment is rotating rather than the thing spinning, you have to have the outer distant stars going around greater than the speed of light. So rotation is an absolute, and it's the outer stars that sets the criterion. And this, of course, is the basis for the gyroscopic horizon. But the stabilizer bar is an artificial horizon. So this could be a answer to one of your other questions of what principles in the helicopter can be more generally applied. Because the whole concept of stabilization can only be achieved, according to my experience with the helicopter, by some reference to the outer, you might say, the universe. The local situation cannot give you the criteria for stabilization. And this is just what governments, etc., don't like. I mean, they want themselves to provide the criteria, and that won't provide stability.